in real time, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, I think he's heading to Barbados today. And he's doing his Caribbean tour, going all the way up to Jamaica and I believe Bahamas to close things off. So he started with Trinidad, and that was what all the excitement was about. Mom and dad and granny and grandpa and uncle and auntie, because lots of the elders was like, who is that? Who is he? And we saw people for the first time in my lifetime, real fanfare, people running down the van, full sprint, speed. I saw a granny yesterday in Grenada in a nightie, slippers and a bonnet. Looked like she could have been a nice, ripe, I would say, closer to minutes to 70. Could have been between 65 minutes to 70. And Tanti for about a good 5 minutes. Speed! Right. Go figure. But that's the excitement. And I guess we look good. There was a excitement, an energy. We were able to compact so much of the Trinidad and Tobago experience in just that 5 hours of Speed's visit, or at least the live stream, because he would obviously, after the stream would have, I guess, I don't know if he left the same night, the morning, I'm not too sure, but nonetheless, that was what the excitement was about, and I think we did a really excellent job in terms of showcasing Trinidad, a little taste of the culture, the food, the cuisine, the excitement, just the whole aura. And I'll say this as I close. My only concern was that I'm thinking people who are far removed from Trinidad on his feed watching the excitement from over the weekend, they might assume that this is Trinidad on a random Saturday. Yeah, you understand? The kind of pace he was under. Pool party, football line. Obviously, you go to the Oval, is dancing, is stick fighting, is Cambole reenactment, is Moko Jambi. People might tell themselves, well, listen, when I come to Trinidad, this is what it's about. But it's about that, yes, but just during a particular time of the year, and obviously when we're in more festival mode, like how Point Fortin is going to be in festival mode this week into the weekend. But that was the excitement, mommy, daddy, grandpa, granny, uncle and auntie. Nenen, right? The young boy, he big. He's a celebrity. He's a superstar for just being popular and being able to grab people within his live stream. That's the excitement. Hence the running down and the speed. Oh, I want to touch you. Excitement, huh? Excitement. All right, let's head to the back page. Some sport and silver for our boy, Paul. That's right, he brings a silver home. He is a real champion. A man from the Southland too. So really proud of him. I say, make them ball, Paul. Make them ball. Let's head now to the brief on this Monday morning. And we're seeing emotions high as 9-5, the ultimate one, celebrates 50. 9-5 is a staple, my cousin Therese Juve from Erin. Her dial, if you're talking fan from day one, Therese, literally, since I small I know myself, was only 9-5, Banty Annie there, Oh, Therese love a 9-5. She used to, that dial never changed. So, 9-5, if it's one thing about 9-5, they have some loyal listeners, people who that station is their go-to, they lift me up. I want to say kudos to the entire 9-5 team. Really tremendous brand, powerful brand. I didn't even know 9-5 was 50. This is unbelievable. Great celebration this weekend for our sister station 9-5. Cousins having a time there at Pigeon Point. Beautiful picture there. The youngsters just living their best life. That's what it's about. The island life, island living, island liberty, as they say. The Bourse report. It's up next. We always check in with the movers and shakers, the big business. No Sarud this morning, but we will check in and get the latest via the Bourse report. I believe it's Carissa. I'll get the full details when we come back.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems. offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Can you do this?
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
So as mentioned, no Saru this morning, but stepping in is Carissa Gobin to give us the latest with our movers and shakers. Carissa, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of the Bourse Report. I'm Carissa Gobin, an investment analyst at Bourse, and I'll be filling in for Sarud. Today we'll be taking a look at the financial performance of two companies in the manufacturing sector, Angostura Holdings Limited, AHL, and the West Indian Tobacco Company Limited, WCO or WITCO, for their respective full-year period ended December 31st, 2025. Angostura reported improved earnings supported by higher revenues, while WITCO continued to face persistent revenue and margin challenges. So firstly, let's take a look at Angostura Holdings Limited, or AHL. Angostura reported an earnings per share of 74 cents in fiscal 2025, up 5.7% year-on-year from 70 cents recorded in fiscal 2024. Revenue increased 5.1% from 1.06 billion to 1.12 billion in the current period. Profit before tax advanced 9.5%, moving from 193.7 million to 212.1 million. Overall profit for the period increased 6.3% from 144.3 million to 153.3 million. So taking a closer look at Angostura revenue trends and revenue by regions, overall revenue showed a steady increase from 922 million in fiscal 2021 to a current 1.12 billion in fiscal 2025. Local revenue in this red color accounted for 58% of total revenue and would have increased modestly, up 2% year-on-year from 636 million to a current 649 million. So this increase was supported by solid sales through its Solara retail outlets and expansion in its ready-to-drink portfolio. However, this increase was partially offset by a fall in local rum sales. Export revenue accounted for 42% of the group's total revenue and remains a significant growth driver as the group continues to expand across regional and international markets. So export revenue increased roughly 10% year-on-year to 469 million in fiscal 2025. So taking a closer look at Angostura margins, so margins would have remained relatively stable year-on-year, with its gross profit margins moving from 45.8% to 45.5% in the current period. Operating profit margin also declined marginally from 16.5% to 16.4%. Profit after tax margin increased to 13.7%. This marginal increase reflects a marginally higher profit per dollar of revenue. So at a price of $10.55, Angostura trades at a PE ratio of 14.3 times above the combined manufacturing sector average of 10.9 times and offers investors a dividend yield of 3.7% below the sector average of 11.8%. So on the basis of revenue growth but tempered by market uncertainties arising from higher excise duties and evolving consumer spending patterns, Bourse maintains a market weight rating on Angostura with a watch outlook for the time being. Turning quickly to the West Indian Tobacco Company Limited, or WITCO. So WITCO reported an earnings per share of 43 cents in the fiscal 2025 period, down 36.8% from 68 cents recorded in the prior comparable period. Revenue continues to remain challenged, down 18.6% to $507.4 million. Profit before tax also fell to the 8.2% to $168.2 million, and overall profit for the period amounted to $109.8 million, down 36.3% year-on-year. So looking at WITCO's revenues over the years, so revenues would decreased roughly 40% from $852 million in fiscal 2021 to $507 million in fiscal 2025, despite a brief rebound in 2023. The decline in revenue year-on-year was mainly driven by lower domestic sales and increased competition within the market. However, the group has undertaken several portfolio adjustments to better align with consumer demand. Looking at WITCO's operating margins, so margins are currently on the lower end of the spectrum. So gross profit margin fell to 53.3% in the current period, while operating profit margin also would have fallen from 43.1% to 32.8%, despite a 60% reduction in total expenses across the group, as weaker revenue would have offset the benefit of lower expenses. And overall profit after tax margin stood at 21.6% in fiscal 2025. So looking at WITCO's earnings per share and dividend trends over the period, so earnings per share has come down from $1.50 in fiscal 2021 to current 43 cents, and as well as total dividends moving from $1.42 to current 41 total payout of 41 cents in fiscal 2025. So as earnings have fallen, dividends have also come down, reflecting reduced profitability over the years. So dividend payouts are likely to remain relatively subdued given the current earnings environment. So WITCO trades at a current price of $2.86 and trades at a trailing PE ratio, a relatively attractive PE ratio of 6.7 times, below its sector average of 10.9 times, and offers investors a dividend yield of 14.3%, above the sector average of 11.8%. So despite relatively attractive PE valuation, continued revenue and margin pressures, along with market uncertainties relating to higher excise duties and increased competition, Bourse maintains a market weight rating on WITCO with a watch outlook for the time being. And that brings us to this week's edition, the end of this week's edition to the Bourse Report. For more information, please give us a call at 226-8773 or email us at info@boursefinancial.com. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Bourse Report.
Your future is safe with us. No matter your age or where you're from, or what doors are open to each and every one. Your financial needs are sure to be met. At Police Credit Union, there's zero regrets. A variety of services that's accessible and reliable, here to show you just what service is, helping where we can but with a smile. So grow with us today, we can do this together, we can secure the future, we can secure the future.
Credit Union. Your future is safe with us.
Welcome to Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Do enjoy, Stacey. You want some coffee?
Can I have the bill?
Perfect then.
That's exactly what we need.
Hey, the pool is this way.
Whatever you're here for, we're here for you. Stay smart at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
28 minutes after the 6 o'clock hour on this Monday morning. So news coming out of Tobago, reports coming in. The results would have been delivered around 3 a.m. I'm not too sure why they took so long in terms of counting the ballots and all that, but indeed victory goes to Shamfa Kojo, now the PNM Tobago, the leader there of the Tobago Council. All right, the incoming leader there, which brings us to a very interesting development in the politics, because now we find ourselves as a nation, Trinidad and Tobago, and I don't know of any other Commonwealth that could probably claim this particular record. We have a female president, female prime minister, female opposition leader, female, in terms of the Tobago PNM Council. We're seeing lots of ladies also rising in terms of the labor movement, PSA, WIGAT. Yeah, interesting indeed. I guess only really Farley stands alone as the lone man really in a role of major government leadership within the space. So congrats there to Shamfa Kojo. Let's put it up one more time. We will get a chance to, I'm sure, touch base with Mrs. Kojo during the course of, probably not tomorrow morning. I think this morning she more than likely will be giving the Tobago media houses that first bite. But if we could get at some point before 8 to this morning, by all means, if not tomorrow. So congratulations there, the PNM Tobago Council leader, taking them into the next, I would say, THA and general election. With that, let's remind you, ways and means to reach out, book your spot. So simple, tmb@cnc3.co.tt. That's it. Take the email, take it down. You could probably even take a picture of it with your phone, screenshot it. tmb@cnc3.co.tt. Let's head across to our social media handles. That's why I found out about the incident with President Trump. I was, relaxing myself Saturday. I didn't even know what was happening. So you really get lots of the breaking news as it takes place, whether it's on the local scene, international, regional developments. We keep you in the know via the social media, Instagram, Facebook, and indeed X. Now, we head across to the mobile app, your number one source for verified breaking news and all your favorite content there on demand. Programming details also readily available, so put yourself in a gear today. All right? And the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, 108 years of legacy, as we continue to celebrate and bring to you all the major developments. And I always look forward to the column where you get a chance to put in your own spin and your take on the developments, your opinion page. So visit guardian.co.tt today for more. Let's head across to our food for thought. Work hard in silence. Let your success be your noise. Work hard in silence. Let your success be your noise. And even if sometimes you're very quiet about what you do, in terms of success is something that naturally people will be attracted, they will be drawn towards that success. And that's why I guess when you look at IShowSpeed, if you just put the footage up for a moment again, before I head across to the weather. And a matter of fact, our weather is a really interesting one today with Sagoni. I'll get to that momentarily. This young man you're seeing here A lot of people asking, who is he? What is the guy on? So if you look at his story and analyze his story, he started off in his room at the tender age. I think he was like 16 or 17, just streaming. And he started to build. So his story is one of persistence and consistency. And if you apply that to any vocation, any sector, well, clearly he's very, fit and very agile and very animated too, and he's entertaining. But he didn't start off, he had just come out last week and getting this kind of momentum. This took years of building, and he's probably still, even to his standard, according to probably where he wants to take his brand, probably still building, but is just as able to capture the generation through the internet. Yeah? Remember back in the day, the music is what you say. I mean, music still captures people's attention. This reminds me, this kind of pandemonium reminds me, I wasn't around in them timing, but you saw black and white footage of the Beatles in their heyday with people running down the Beatles. Oh God, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, thing, and people carrying on. And you more find young people going through that. No big hardback man and hardback woman. Well, except for what I saw with the granny in Grenada. But generally, hardback folks who have bills to pay, they really have the time, they really have the capacity for this kind of excitement. But you're seeing the children, his kids, his teens, the generation, I guess they were looking for somebody to hold on to, and IShowSpeed. Yes, he's American, but the internet, again, it connects the entire world. And he's a streamer. And for many, through his stream, as interesting as it was over the weekend, sure and certain would have seen Trinidad and Tobago probably for the very first time. And as always, we put on a show. Poor fella, he looked like he was so exhausted. We squeezed so much inside that 5-hour window. So, Speed, glad you started with Trinidad. It's almost like we set the bar, and every other island he's going to now will have to try to reach to that particular standard and that particular bar that we set, and we have continued to set, and will always continue to set as Trinidad and Tobago. It's a pity, though, he didn't get a chance to go to Sweet Tobago. I guess probably next time. Let's see what's happening with our weather updates. And today is a bit different because it's a farmer's update. So Goni took the time to really speak directly to the farmers. So let's, take it in. And to the farmers, this is right up your alley. Enjoy.
Good morning, farmers. I'm Sigoni Mohammed, and here's your Farmer's Almanac for the week ahead across Trinidad and Tobago. Now, we're heading into a transition phase this week, coming out of a wetter period and moving into more settled but still active conditions. Now, starting from today, we expect partly sunny skies with scattered showers, and that pattern continues all the way into Thursday. Rainfall amounts stay generally light to moderate, but with a consistent moderate chance of showers. Soils will remain moist and supportive for crop growth. Now, farmers, this is important as it is a favorable planting window for corns, melons, squash, and other above ground crops. So take advantage of that lingering moisture in the soil. Now, as we move into May, conditions remain supportive, and this becomes a great time for transplanting for root crops, as soil conditions should be ideal following the earlier rains. Temperature-wise, it remains very warm. And we've got daytime highs around 32 to 33 degrees, but feeling closer to the upper 30s with humidity. Nights stay warm as well, and with moderate easterly winds and gusts of up to 50 kilometers per hour, be mindful of young or flowering plants in exposed areas. Now, how about a quick tip before we go? We're moving just past that first quarter phase and into a period in early May that gradually favors root crop development. And while we stay alert for fungal diseases, especially in low-lying or sheltered areas, we also want to monitor our livestock, as lingering Saharan dust could still have minor impacts for them. So farmers, plant smart during this window and avoid planting in early May as conditions will begin to decline. Well, that was your Farmer's Forecast, helping you grow smarter every week.
Sigoni, sincere thanks to the farmers, very valuable information. And for those who, as they say, got the green thumb, they love the planting, literally they work in the little garden, enjoying yourself, it's really a blessing. And, you know, we give thanks. We give thanks that there are those who still have that capacity and ability. That's right. Good stuff. Hey, Sigoni, sincere thanks. What we want to do is come back and open up the lines, put aside some time this morning for us to have that conversation on, obviously, the developments out of Tobago. For those who would have seen the excitement with IShowSpeed, for those who would have attended the one-year anniversary for the United National Congress, whatever's on your mind, this is going to be a nice, timely discussion, a safe space. I'm looking forward to your comments, your opinion, your commentary. We touch base on Open the Lines Live after the break.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. That's your big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop 2021 Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Cuba, Chaguanas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Good day, Trinidad and Tobago. A safer nation begins with you standing up, speaking out, and doing your part. As your Commissioner of Police, I am prepared to do my part. Are you prepared to do your part? Get on board. Are you on board?
I am Bishop Ezekiel Clark, President of the Couva Police Station Community Council, and I am proud to say that I am on board with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in their fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago.
I am Panis Dean Gulston. And I am Panis Johan Chakri. And crime prevention is everybody's business.
Hi, I am Sajina Kadir, attorney at law and team lead for the attorneys for the TTPS Community Justice Clinic. We support the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in the fight against crime.
Crime prevention is everybody's business. I am Shiraz Khan. I am a farmer. I support the TTPS in the fight against crime.
My name is Baldap Miraj, President of the Chaguanas Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Crime fighting is everybody's business.
We are all on board.
Back. Let's get into the calls. Obviously, so much transpired over the weekend. I'm watching again through the news cycle, and yeah, whether it was on the entertainment side, whether it's on the political side, never a dull moment in Trinidad, clearly. And I'm seeing I think the Michael Jackson movie in cinemas already, right, guys? Right. So the Michael Jackson movie is also out. Anybody saw it as yet? Mariah, and what's Mariah's rating on it so far? So my colleague Mariah, she's inside right now. She said she thought it was a good movie. So yeah, why not? I mean, these biopics, the fact that Diana Ross was not featured, I think when you really go into some of the different reports, or at least the stories coming out of the movie, apparently Diana Ross kind of put a block on them, putting her in the movie because there were certain question marks about Diana Ross and Michael's relationship back in the day. We're talking here late 70s. You know, for those who know, they know. You know, I won't go into all the details there, but when you do a biopic on someone who is so big and so legendary, I guess it's because the same argument came up with the Bob Marley movie. There are certain things will be spot on, certain aspects of the person's life clearly will be featured, and then there are parts that they will leave out totally. You can never really please everyone. But I'll go check out the Michael movie. Why not? It's Michael after all. Freeport, good morning. Good morning, Freeport. You know, here in Freeport, breathing on the line, you know, Freeport?
Hi, Jason William. How are you?
All is well, man. All is well. What's the action?
I'm just still living life in Trinidad. Seeing what's happening and all the ups and downs we are going through, you know. I'm just observing because to be a learner, you have to observe firstly. And I believe that's what artists do observe. So, you know, my plan, what I seek to achieve, what I seek to accomplish is really always to uplift. And in life, we all have complications. We all have ups and downs, but so we deal with it makes a difference. So I believe that if we as a population learn to deal with things in a more constructive way, we can have a far more better result than a destructive result. Because anything you do destructively is going to give more problem, will be more problematic. But if you deal with things in a more precise, constructive way, you're going to have a better outcome than a dismal outcome. Jason, again, thank you for your love, thank you for your support, the Keystone team, thank you for everything, and just know that we have to get to the point where we recognize that personal growth starts within, and that's the very first place to start.
Well said.
Thank you, Jason.
You're most welcome. Personal growth starts from within. Beautiful words indeed. You know, I was looking at some of the developments too in terms of our carnival and its spread. So Ghana, that's right, our brothers and sisters on the west coast of Africa, had their first kind of carnival street parade. I saw the likes of Marshall Montano, Kwesi Hoppy Hopkinson was there with this duck work party. A nice weekend there in Ghana. So that's a most interesting and beautiful development. Let's head now to Santa Cruz. Good morning, Santa Cruz.
Good morning, Jason, and good morning to the people of Santa Cruz. Now, I see which part the UNC celebrates a year in office. And that year in office, when one looks at it carefully, it was a year which part all the youth programs were closed down. It was a year which part you had Ready Mix, you had the Newsday, you have Hilton threatening to close down, you had a number of industries, nutrient, and all these things has closed down. And to date, there is no new opportunity or creation of employment for the young generation of people that leave in school who will be sitting exam just now. So I cannot understand what it is UNC was really celebrating. I believe it is more a celebration of a year of failure. So if I have to give them a mark, Jason, in terms of doing performance appraisal, the UNC would get a 0.0 mark for actually not doing absolutely nothing, more and more rhetoric in terms of trying to hoodwink the population in terms of negativity. In terms of diplomacy, the relationship with CARICOM is a disaster, so they get an X0. So for me, UNC performance appraisal would be 0.000 for the year. Thank you, this Mr. Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz, don't go yet. I'm asking. Santa Cruz gone. I was not going to ask Santa Cruz if there was not one shining moment. Santa Cruz, not one silver lining behind what you have clearly described as a very dark cloud. I just wanted to, because I mean, no matter who, you know me, I will always challenge because I want to really dig deep on her. So I guess Santa Cruz, his rating on the government's performance is one of well, clearly they didn't pass the grade. Santa Cruz will continue that conversation. Just wanted to find out if there was at least one moment. But you know what, let me find out from Powder Magazine. Powder Magazine, good morning.
Morning, Jason.
Morning, Powder Magazine. Welcome.
No, this is Pleasantville.
Oh, Pleasantville. Yes, man. Long time in a partner. I see it fly out.
Probably Powder Magazine got cut off, I know.
Yeah, Pleasantville, man. Always a pleasure to hear from you, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jason. I saw Shamfa show speed. Shamfa show speed in Tobago, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I hope that she's humble in victory and gracious. You have to be humble in victory and gracious in defeat. What I'm looking at is what were we celebrating really? The whole country should be celebrating. This is not a time for celebration, Jason. And it's the same thing they did in the first period, 2010 to 2015. When for the first 3 years they had big celebrations in Mid-Center Mall. This is not a time for celebrating. We know what's going on. Jason, what I see happening in Tobago with that voter turnout there, it shows that your vote doesn't matter. And politics don't stop poverty and racism and crime, really. We have to work together and get this done. So it's not a time really now for celebration. There's a lot of work to be done.
But I'll tell you this, Pleasantville. I'll tell you this from my observation, and because I spent a little time in his space and I was observing, and I've recognized that.
I'm getting a lot of interference in the back there. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I've observed there over the years, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. UNC's messaging is way better than PNM's messaging. In terms of UNC, they've always, remember the Monday Night Forum, consistent with that. They always find a way to do these celebrations in a grand way. When the Prime Minister arrives back in the country, they have TASA. It's a show that's put on that really and truly PNM, if they were to... No, I'm just saying that, again, messaging, because PNM, they do...
What we are seeing is a show. You rightly said, Jason, politics.
It's optics, Pleasantville, plenty of it is optics.
Politics is what we do to get into governance. Politics, you are playing politics, you are still advertising and showing where UNC and not the country. You don't play politics with governance. After you get into office, it is time for governance for all.
Of course. However, their base is who they keep the messaging and targeted messaging towards, and that's where clearly PNM, if they were to learn some lessons from the lack of messaging and neglecting the base.
On truth. PNM campaign on truth, and we saw where lies trump truth. Thanks for your discourse.
All right, Pleasantville. I just trying to expand the discussion, because clearly, and this is not just me saying this, it's there for all. You've seen where the messaging and the grand and the fanfare, it's part of, I guess, a bigger strategy, and it seems to work and capture the UNC base, and that's what it is. Now we saw that again over the weekend. This is where, again, when it comes to strategy, politics, we have Powder Magazine now. Let me hold a screen there and bring Powder Magazine in the mix. Welcome, Powder Magazine. Powder Magazine. Yeah, listen, if people getting riled up by my commentary this morning, for any reason, again, I'm not making this up, I'm just speaking the reality of the moment and what I, from my sideline view of the whole scenario now, would have observed. And this happening overnight, this happening last week. We're now seeing PNM trying to do meetings and being consistent with stuff. The Monday Night Forum was something that ran, if I'm not mistaken, for the entirety of that. Back then, the administration would have been opposition. And again, messaging, whether it's the message is truthful, whether it's fabrication, or once people are hitting the message, remember, if people pong one thing long enough, people start to believe it, So plenty of this is optics, it's psychology, it's reading the room. It's so many different factors come into play to get somebody into the wheels of governance. That's the reality. Powder Magazine, could we
Good morning, Jason.
Oh, God, finally. Well done, Powder Magazine. I'm listening.
Right, yeah. Like in everything else, you hit the nail on the head. PNM propaganda machine on pause. They're sleeping. The UNC propaganda machine working. See David Lee, we brought back from the States. That's what they're working with. Look, a simple thing as the property tax. They never sold the property tax as something that would work for you. Because if you look at it, it's dollars you're paying, you know. The most you might pay is about $200 or $300 for the year for your property, right? And the UNC, and they victimize it. All of kind of thing, vilify it. And PNM didn't do any damage control. And that's why we're at this point right now. Because these same UNC people have property in Miami and all over the place, and they're paying the property tax, they're not even living on it. And you must pay a property tax. You understand? So PNM need to get up and educate John public on what you're doing. It's not no secret anymore. They have a date in your back pocket and all kind of foolishness. We passed that stage. We need to get up and get. And as I wish Tobago well, Chancellor Kojo was not my choice. But I hope we rebuild the party. I hope it's a rebuilding process, and we take it further.
All right. All the best for the magazine. Thanks a lot, man. And you know what? Something I realized with the politics, and you know, again, because I sit and I always keep it so real, because again, I got a little taste there. I got a little look behind the curtain. What I've recognized, and I move on, I want you to hold on for as I make this very profound statement yet again. I have something I've always said, and I'll say it again this morning. In the politics, people honestly do not really care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. So for those who have big title behind the name and graduated this and graduated that, ultimately, if somebody who steps into the fold with nothing close to that, but they listen, they really try their best, they try to really get over the line and listen and treat people with a respect. And we're talking here, not just constituents, we're talking members of the media, any human being you interact with, you treat them with a certain respect. That person will always last much longer than those who are very arrogant and talking to you anyhow. And I don't know what happened. These people don't realize you have to live in Trinidad after the politics. You didn't born, there's not a title that's given to you, you know. It's a temporary seat with the expectation to serve the citizenry of the country that you live. And it's the same place you had to come and live. That way plenty of them when they come on the politics have to walk with big hat and have to walk with their head low, because it's holier. That's what people tell them to the face. The place get better. So remember, you have to come right back, you know. Anything that up, just had to come back down. Remember that. Let's head to, I think it's Mova. Yes, Mova. Good morning.
Good morning, Jason.
Welcome.
Yes, I understand that the opposition leader will be making a decision on Senator John Baines, right? I want to register more support for the senator. I mean, the other committee she has been removed from, okay, that is fine. But she has a contribution to make in the Senate, right? And we have to be mindful that we do want to create deficits with our young people entering politics and so on. We have to show a little leniency. And I mean, the process in no system is perfect, so that's a way to strengthen the system. Is a learning curve for everybody. And I'm saying to Senator Baines, there's sunshine on a cloudy day. I want to say that she is a woman of promise, and she has a contribution to make towards national development, and she should be allowed to make a contribution in the Senate, to continue her senatorial role in Parliament, and she is our girl. Thank you very much.
Mova, I want to stay with me. Let me ask you a question, Mova. You there with me still? Oh, God, Mova, go on. You see, this is where, I was going to ask Mova, and I hear you loud and clear, Mova, but in England, in any place that it's a serious democracy and a serious politics that's at play, you don't have to wait for the opposition leader to make a decision. You, of your own standing, will say, you know what? Yeah, drop the ball here, and I will leave with my head held high. What happened there, Mova, was unacceptable. I don't know the young lady. I'm sure she's full of promise. She seems very bright. She works with a certain swagger and confidence. But if we're talking here about transparency, leading by example, and setting a particular bar, you don't have to let the opposition leader make that decision. You have to step aside. Because it can't be asking questions in a joint select committee. And the man who have to answer questions, it is now proven, because you step aside. It didn't make no noise when that happened. You was helping come on. So, I mean, Mova, I hear you, and, you know, I'm just saying that I wish to see the day where people are within themselves in the space could say, you know what, boy? All right, let me step aside. I have so many people, and Bates says she's the least of it, you know. There are people who need parliament right now. You wonder how these people end up there. It's mind-blowing, and we have to call these folks honorable. But you know what? I'll stick up in. We will get ready for the 7 a.m. news update and much more after 7. See you soon.
With an Answer Bank in-one home mortgage, you enjoy as low as 5% down payment, up to 3 years insurance, refinancing available, expert guidance brewed right. Banking that feels like home. Answer Bank. Switch to a new way of banking. Refinance with an Answer Bank in-one mortgage and enjoy as low as 5% down payment, up to 3 years insurance, expert guidance. Let the perfect mix feel like home. Answer Bank. Switch to a new way of banking.
Need to upgrade to a better phone system? Contact the experts at Voice Outsourcing. In office or remote, our phone system allows you to take every call. Grow your bottom line by offering excellent customer service. Call 217-1895 or 628-8182 or email today.
Embrace life with Guardian Life.
Every sunrise brings a new beginning, a quiet promise that we're never truly alone in life's journey.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Time Check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning, I'm Janelle Bernard with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC radio network. Shamfor Kojo will now lead the PNM's Tobago Council. Kojo replaces Ansel Dennis, who led the party to a crushing 15-0 defeat in the last Tobago House of Assembly elections. Party officials reported a high turnout at the polls in Tobago yesterday, with both leadership candidates noting that the process was not as smooth, but they were confident it would not impact the outcome. Party stalwart Ingrid Roberts said her PNM roots run deep, and she's hoping the results of the election bring stability to the party.
Well, I hope we're heading in the right direction. I really hope so, that this would, bring some kind of guidance and stability and everything else.
A San Fernando community is challenging a police account of a fatal shooting, insisting 45-year-old Shivnath Jogi was unjustifiably killed inside his home. Officers said they responded to a report of a chopping and found Jogi armed with a cutlass and a hammer when they arrived at his home along Railway Line Road. They claimed he advanced towards them, forcing them to open fire. But residents say the situation unfolded differently and believe the encounter could have been de-escalated. Now they are demanding answers and proof of what really happened.
When I go into the washroom, they realize that he by himself. So the next guy run down with the cutlass. I don't know what took place. When I came out of the washroom, I come down the road. My friend here tell me, boy, I know chop Jaja there. The man come down in my yard here with a cutlass and scramble me and jack me up and thing. And me and he scramble and thing, I end up chopping me in the head.
A 4-year-old boy is safe after a kidnapping and vehicle theft incident in Sangre Grande. Police say around 3 p.m. on Saturday, a 51-year-old man reported that his white Nissan Navara had been stolen along Tamina Road with his young son still inside. Investigators say the suspect, who is known to the child's father, allegedly drove off with the vehicle and the child. A swift police response led officers to the stolen vehicle a short time later at a nearby location where the child was found unharmed inside. A 40-year-old suspect has since been arrested in connection with the incident. The child was taken for medical examination and was found to be in good health. Those were your 7 a.m. news headlines. We'll have another news update for you at 8 on the TBC Radio Network.
Welcome back. We're going to stay with the discussion on the politics. This time, of course, Tobago for the PNM Tobago Council. So I'm seeing where the chairman, that position is now being, well, at least the voters there in Tobago have given the nod to Nicole Henry, the chairman of the PNM Tobago Council, and the leader, Shamfa Kojo, who, from what I understand, would have put forward a statement. So I think once I get the all clear, we will play that particular statement. The leader there in waiting. So I guess she will have to have a working relationship here with Penelope Beckles, who is the PNM political leader. But Shamfa Kojo is the leader of the Tobago Council. And here is Shamfa Kojo giving some comments on the victory that, again, the results came in, from what I understand, at 3 a.m. this morning, bright and early. So this is very much fresh, minted, brand new leader going into the Tobago PNM Council. So let's hear from Shamfa Kojo.
People want unity. People want restored trust in the People's National Movement, and people want to see our party return to being serious about what we're doing and being respectful to our members, honoring our commitments. We want to modernize the party so that young people feel like they have a chance to lead in a serious way, and utilizing ICT to carry our messages and so on. So it's a host of different pillars. It's 6 pillars actually, but so many different things that we need to do towards rebuilding our party and bringing back that spirit of community and home for us in the People's National Movement. Of course, I see at the corner of my eye there is Miss Nicole Henry, and she has brought home the position of chairman. There's a woman thing going on now.
So it's there from Shamfa Kojo, the new PNM Tobago Council leader, speaking to some of the plans and what needs to be done. Obviously, lots of work. Definitely her shoulders needs to be broad and strong to carry that particular mantle there in Tobago. And I hope that lessons are learned, because clearly, you heard her, in terms of respect and being able to honor people who would have given support for years. It's been a utmost shame to see many who would have supported PNM over the years. We're talking here real foot soldiers on the ground, moving, and when the folks they support get over the line, they are almost put to the back burner, and they go through that cycle time and time again, and people basically saying no more. That culture needs to change. Must change. And cultures, as we know, is one of the hardest things to adjust. So we'll see how things pan out in the Tobago space. And now Shamfa Kojo will indeed lead that particular charge. Let's hear from Nicole Henry, who is now the chairman-elect there for the Tobago Council.
The campaign more or less was a very sober campaign using a lot of social media and talking to persons on the phone, to get your messaging out there and to ensure that, you are the individual that they would select and to make sure that you're known, because that is one of the challenges with some persons. They were unaware of who were some of the candidates, even though I would have served as Lady Vice Chair of the Council previously, right? So it was just really to get your message out there and to get the persons to buy into your vision and your dream and what you want to do for our party.
Congratulations also there to Nicole Henry, the chairman in waiting. We're going to take a quick pause, and what we'll do is touch base with Akash Samaru. Akash is on top of all the politics, and he would have attended the one-year anniversary. He's giving us also some perspective out of Tobago, and just generally, we'll have a nice discussion on the political climate and some of the challenges that reporters and seasoned professionals like himself, they have to treat with when they're just trying to ask questions and bring much needed answers to our population. Akash Samaru, he's up next.
This month end at Food Basket Marketplace, Arima, Chaguanas, Champlain, and Gulfville. With a purchase of $500 and over, you get to choose a free case of Chubby, a bale of toilet paper, 2 cases of water, or 3 5-liter liquid detergent. Yes, you can get to choose an item for free with purchases of $500 and over. Don't miss it, happening this month end at Food Basket Marketplace in Arima, Chaguanas, Champlain, and Gulfville. Food Basket Marketplace, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
With an Answer Bank in-one home mortgage, you enjoy as low as 5% down payment, up to 3 years insurance, refinancing available, expert guidance brewed right. Banking that feels like home. Answer Bank. Switch to a new way of banking. Refinance with an Answer Bank in-one mortgage and enjoy as low as 5% down payment, up to 3 years insurance, expert guidance. Let the perfect mix feel like home. Answer Bank. Switch to a new way of banking.
Hey, man. Where are you? Okay. He said 5 minutes. Anyone want dessert? Maybe he's stuck at the office? Surprise! Not yet, Carl.
Bro, I'm literally at the altar right now.
Relax. I'm almost there.
We're like the friend who isn't always late.
You have the rings.
CG United. Good like that.
Considering a career in procurement or supply chain? Start the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply, CIPS, program at CTS College. CIPS is internationally recognized as the leading professional accreditation for procurement and supply chain professionals. It covers industry-related topics like strategic sourcing, contract management, and ethical practices. With 1 day of class per week and 6 intake periods, students can get certified in as little as 6 months. Contact CTS College today and ask about our flexible payment options and how you can get up to $2,700 off.
Political editor Akash Samaru, my colleague, he joins me on the Zoom line, and I want to say, Akash, always a pleasure to see you, bro. I look forward to the discussion, and we have some time because we have some time to play with this morning, and there is lots to discuss. I want to tackle the developments in chronological order, and I'll start firstly with the 1-year anniversary for the United National Congress. As always, Akash, great to see you. Good morning, my friend.
Hi, good morning, Jason. And Jason, I hope you enjoyed your birthday. I believe your birthday was yesterday, so I told you happy birthday yesterday. I'm telling you again, I really hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, I did. It was a really, really beautiful weekend. Very quiet, and I'm just grateful is the word. So again, up to the nice ripe age now. You just give thanks for every year, man. So thanks a lot for that short, Akash.
Well,
I appreciate it.
I'm glad it was quiet because my weekend was anything but.
Well, I would imagine.
Of course, cover that. What they call it? They call it a report to the nation. The Prime Minister last week would have messaged me, and she was very clear. She said, people are calling this a political rally, but this is the annual Congress and report to the nation. So that's what they wanted to call Saturday's event. And let me tell you, it was a bit of a challenge to cover, mostly because of the elements. The rain just absolutely pelted down in Kufa. And it started off with intermittent showers, and we got some sunshine. We were able to maneuver. Things were going well. And then maybe around after 3 is when a torrential downpour, it came down. So it was a very cold and wet day for the party of the rising sun. But it was a decent turnout.
How much you feel so, Akash, in terms of the estimate? Thousands?
Right. So the Prime Minister would have said that she was told that the turnout is between 18 to 20,000, right? I mean, I looked around as well when she said it, and I'm not maybe the best person to gauge like average attendance. So I would have spoken with someone there from the protective services, and they told me that they couldn't do an official gate count because there were multiple points of entry to the event. But one of the key people there, he said, in his estimation, he was looking at around under 10,000. So different numbers there, but still a decent turnout. And the beautiful thing about political reporting, Jason, is that we don't just take the speeches from the podium. If that was the case, we stay in office and watch the multiple live streams of the event. So Jesse Ramdale, myself, we went amongst the crowd, amongst the UNC faithful, amongst the UNC base, and we spoke with the people. We wanted to know where their minds are at 1 year later in terms of are their needs being met, are they winning, so to say. And it's interesting because emblazoned on the stage, every 10 seconds, there's a digital board behind the main speaker. And every 10 to 15 seconds, it would transition from the UNC logo to better days ahead. And then on the podium, there's a digital board in front of the podium, and fixed on that podium, the words better days ahead. So that was almost like the motto or the theme of Saturday's event. And in the crowd, people are still holding firm with their party. But Jason, some people are really hoping the party keeps that promise of better days ahead, because some did express some disappointment as it pertains to employment. I spoke with BOAs from the Education Ministry who told me they lost their jobs in November when their contract came to an end, and they're still hoping and they're waiting for it to be renewed. We had some people talk about some land issues, but generally they are still holding firm with the party. They're still believing in the party. They are hoping year 2 is their year. The Prime Minister would have told people during her speech that if you didn't win, or if you didn't get what you wanted to get in year 1, we still have year 2 coming on. So they're really hoping and staying, really hoping that better days ahead thing really materializes.
Outside of the main address, obviously, by the Prime Minister and political leader, any other minister was able to capture the mind and hearts and the soul of the those in attendance? Because again, we look at a year where there's been no major dismissal and there's been no major reshuffle. The same characters that got there post-April 28th are still in place today.
Remember, we didn't have a reshuffle, but we had some realignment of responsibilities over the past 12 months. So
but most importantly, nobody was dismissed, because I know
nobody was dismissed.
In her first tenure, by the first year, people would have been sent home.
Yeah, but remember, this is, as she puts it, Kabla 2.0 now. She said this isn't the Kabla of 2010, 2015. But To answer your question, there were a few speeches before the Prime Minister came, as of course the featured speaker. Interesting though, because it felt like a very quick affair. I thought that maybe there would have been a bit more detail in terms of, remember you're calling it a report to the nation. So we did hear very briefly from Minister Tanku, the finance minister, who, again, he said better days are coming, but it was a very short speech. We heard from Senator Alaha, MP Padarat, who spoke about how many sittings they had in the lower house and in the upper house. Things that didn't really, drive the crowd, send the crowd into a frenzy, but, it's up to them to account the way they want to account. We heard from Jolene John as well, Dr. Rudal Munilal. They touched on some things they would have been doing in their ministry from the different arms of the party, the youth arm chair, the women's arm. Nothing I would say too detailed though. Like, for example, I would have loved to have heard from the Homeland Security Minister, for example, maybe the Defense Minister, maybe a bit more from the Finance Minister in terms of the gains made in the last 12 months, projections going forward, maybe a review is coming up, maybe what people could expect for that. So there were some speakers. I don't think any really
to really rise up
move the crowd in any way. Yeah, it was very short, very, very short. And then the Prime Minister came. She spoke for about an hour. But the entire event, it was a really short event. Okay. It was a really short event. By 5 o'clock, after the Prime Minister spoke, and because people were also, fighting with the weather, most people would have started leaving the venue.
The support, over the years, there was always a claim that, there would be folks who are contract workers. They'll put them in a jersey and hold them in a bus and tell them, come on out, to make it look good and make up the numbers. Obviously, there's no way really to determine who is there in that capacity. I mean, we have no more of that anyway. But the folks who were there seem to be really genuine supporters, from, I guess, gauging from what you said, outside of their personal grievances and their personal, this didn't happen yet. What was the feeling you got as it pertains to the country? Are they pleased, as it were, with the general management of the country in the last year? And not only even the supporters there on Saturday. When you walk around Akash and you speak to man and woman on the ground and you do your engagements with the general public, what seems to be the mood? Because I know you have your finger on the pulse.
Yeah, so, I can't put my head on a block and say all of them there were genuine supporters who didn't get any inducement or incentive to come out and support. But this isn't a UNC thing, this is just a political thing. We hear about all parties mobilizing supporters in any way that they can to come to their events. The general mood amongst the people, as I said earlier, they are generally pleased. They're happy. They strongly believe that in the last 10 years under the PNM, the country saw no real progression, no real growth. They felt a disconnect between the politician and the person. And they are still, the UNC has a lot of credit in the bank still with its supporters. The supporters are willing to give them that time. A lot of them would have told me while it is they want to see a little improvement as it pertains to employment especially. And we have a story about that in today's Guardian. And crime, of course, they understand that it's year one, that things don't just get better overnight. And they're willing to see it through. So some people would have said, they were happy that the laptop initiative came back with such force. Some people got jobs under the UNC administration. Some people were happy with the tax being removed from private pensions. So there were things there that they were generally happy about.
Yes.
To say that anybody regretted their decision, not at all. They're still very much with their party.
Well, Akash, as we described in terms of the chronological order, we started, of course, with the anniversary celebration on Saturday, and then, of course, all eyes on Tobago yesterday, and the results are in. Nicole Henry, now the chairman in waiting, and Shamfa Kojo, the Tobago PNM Council leader in waiting. What feedback you got there from our team on the ground in Tobago, most about the turnout?
Yeah. But just what I could say is that whoever is in charge, I always told myself, whoever gets to be in charge of that Tobago PNM Council, they definitely have their work cut out for them. They have a massive rebuild ahead of them. I was in Tobago for nomination day for THA election. We spent some time in December. We went back again in January for the THA election, and at that time the island was very heavily politically charged. We saw unfortunate incidents of people getting physical with each other on the eve of the election. The Tobago population very disillusioned with the PNM. They're very upset with the PNM. You hear it. Once they see, of course, they're from media, CNC3, they're more inclined to say certain things and to speak their mind. And a lot of people, and we saw it with the results. 15-0 does not lie. The turnout does not lie. The Tobago supporters, Shamfa Kojo Lewis, before that, of course, Ansel Dennis, even Kelvin Morris as minority leader, I think their job really is to wake up that PNM base, and we're seeing that it's going to fall on Ms. Kojo Lewis now. From what I saw this morning from our reporter, Stefan Nicholas, he was following this all through the night, early in the morning.
Clearly, early in the morning,
she has a massive job on her hand here.
Any idea?
Try to wake up the PNM support in Tobago.
Any idea as we wrap things up, Akash, as to Stefan gave any explanation as to why the results came in like 3 in the morning? I mean, general election results come in faster than this. And I mean, there was only 9,000 people who were able to vote in Tobago. I'm trying to work out the timing.
Yeah, well, we know there were some discrepancies yesterday. I haven't been able to really fully touch base with Stefan yet. He had a really long night and morning today, so I will touch base with Stefan soon. But
if I can find out that for us, I'll appreciate it.
It did take quite a bit, because look at THA election, right? We knew the winner by 8:30, 9.
Yeah.
9 that night. Polls would have closed about 6.
Yeah.
And in 2-3 hours later, we knew who was in charge of the entire island.
If you can find out that, I'll really appreciate it.
Far less the subset of PNM supporters. So they may want to take a look internally at their election mechanism, because on one hand, you saw it work so smoothly for THA election just in January, and now, I mean, I thought this was something we would have had a clear winner by last night.
Yeah, I was waiting for the results, but
then maybe about 1 o'clock.
Well, I went.
Stefan telling us that he's taking it through.
I went about 11 Akash. I waited and I see, but look now, I say I can't get a result. I had to go sleep. I didn't get up in the morning. So yeah, and I get up this morning. I see the results 3 o'clock. I swear. But Akash, let me tell you, I'll continue the great work. I know we spoke last week. Of course, you messaged me yesterday for the birthday greeting, and I want to say, full respect, man. Continue the tremendous work and keep us in the loop and keep asking the questions, Akash. Whether they walk off or not, keep asking the questions. All the best. Well, the new head of the Municipal Police, Wayne Meister, well, I can't say my batch, but we went the same school, and we're proud of that. Belmont to the world. That's right. Officer Meister in with us to have a very in-depth conversation from now till 8 o'clock.
On Mother's Day, Sunday, May 10th, bring your mothers, sisters, wives, and the entire family to the luxurious, specially decorated Cascadia Hotel Ballroom St. Anne's for this exceptional Mother's Day buffet lunch and show.
From 12 noon, come enjoy a sumptuous buffet lunch prepared by the world-class chefs, which include appetizers, desserts, cocktails, and more. Then, from 2 p.m.,
mothers will be serenaded by the Caribbean stars live. Wendell McBurney,
Patricia Smith,
and soca star Sanel Dempster.
You can't see it. It's electric.
And the King Weston Rollins with love songs and gospel.
Of the goodness of God.
Early bird tickets available now at $500
at Cascadia Hotel St. Anne's, Crosby St. James, Cache Port of Spain, Michelle's Fashions Arima, Sona Jewelers, Chaguana San Pinal, Bellini's Truck Mart San Fernando, and online at islandetickets.com.
Higher purchase, credit card, loan on top of loan. This feeling heavy.
When debt starts to weigh you down, it's time for a fresh start with fresh cash from NCB Merchant Bank. Their unsecured loan can consolidate your debts into one simple payment. No collateral needed.
One payment, one date, less stress?
Exactly. With lowered requirements, you can borrow up to $150,000 to clear your debt. Apply online and get the funds straight to your bank account. No branch visit needed. Fast and efficient. Apply today at ncbloanaccess.com.
Conditions apply.
Spring is here and your garden's ready for a glow up. The Vega Garden Center sale runs April 24th to May 3rd. Get 20% off all plants, soil, pots, and fertilizer at both our San Fernando and Grand Cooper branches every day, including weekends. Whether you're refreshing your balcony, revamping your yard, or creating a jungle indoors, we're talking bougainvillas, ZZ plants, calatheas, a wide variety of crotons, orchids, bromeliads, palms, herbs, ground cover, and more. The Vega Spring Sale. Let's grow something beautiful together.
Parents will do it, they'll go to work, have a day, bro, and come on and take that stress out on you.
Welcome to another episode of Manhood.
Everybody will do what they need to do to get what they want.
And if they can't fit in to the norms, then what they have to do, they're surviving.
Not everybody wants to kill me because I might be all kind of thing, but I think I'm a good person.
The aspect of a mentor seeing something in you that you can't see in yourself.
Check yourself, because you shaped that generation.
Are we losing in many ways the values?
Since I have this Parkinson's diagnosis, there's a group, a very small group, type group, who will always look after me.
ACP Wayne Meister is here with me this Monday morning. He's also now the head of the Municipal Police Service. Of course, we saw that development in the news, and I'm happy you're here with us to just touch base. I know when last we spoke, it was during the carnival season. You seem to be rather relaxed. You was growing out the beard a little bit. You was there partaking in the festivities, and I knew that at some point this year you would have been back on the beat. Obviously, back in the mix with this particular responsibility. I remember, yes, it was vacation. You was on having a time, but now you're back out to work, and it seems that you're rested and ready. I look at you. You see, you come up with that energy this morning. Good to see you.
Yeah, so thanks very much. You know, and the correct, I was having a good time. Yeah. Growing a nice white beard and so on.
Yeah, it was your beard before. So nice little beard. You know?
It was pains and punishment to cut off that beard.
Oh my goodness. When you received the call. And obviously, with this particular responsibility, what was your initial reaction?
Well, the thing about it, as I mentioned to someone before, that I was on extended long leave, and I mean, there's so much you could do on long leave. So I was always willing and able to serve. That's my main thing, because as I mentioned before, I joined the service at 18 years. This is the only thing I know from adulthood. So this is my career, anything to do with law enforcement. So I was happy that situation come into place so I could serve and assist in whatever national security issues.
Indeed, and I guess, the call came, but the circumstance also was a really bizarre one. And I would imagine with that particular development coming into the role now, with so many eyes on the position and of course on the municipal police, what's your strategy stepping in, especially under the circumstance?
Right, and as I say, it's unfortunate that it had to be under these kind of circumstances, but my immediate focus, of course, would be stabilization of the organization, because I observed that they're operating under, a sense of, the morale is very low. as we speak. So that is also a next function that I'll be looking at to improve the officers' morale. And of course, operational security protocols and regaining the public's trust. Because, you know, we work together with members of the public, and if the public doesn't have confidence, then that is going to undermine most of our efforts. So regaining trust, restoring confidence, improving morale, stabilization, and dealing with operational issues as we speak.
You know, there are many, when this incident transpired, learned for the first time that the municipal police, now again, those in the service and those around who are quite aware would know. But for a lot of folks, you know, they see the uniform, the blue and the gray, and you see it's police. You're just looking at nobody lapel that it's the TTMPS. So to understand there was this almost separation, the hiring process was a bit different. The answer to a different entity. Many were kind of surprised by it, and now we're hearing a bigger discussion as to, well, should there be some kind of incorporation? Should there be a merging, as it were, of the municipal police into the regular police? I know that's a different conversation on a different level, but I'm sure you would have heard that argument. What needs to happen for that to even be a consideration?
Well, there are different law enforcement fraternities in Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, Trinidad and Tobago Police Service being the lead law enforcement agency in terms of what they do. We have transit police. They fall under a different ministry as well in that sense. Parliament police.
Yeah, I heard so. I learned that last week.
Right, same uniform.
Yeah.
And of course, municipal police. Now, municipal police falls under Rural Development and Local Government Ministry. And their main function, they were established to deal with the assets of the cities and boroughs, so their jurisdiction. So I'll just give you an example. San Fernando. We have the city of San Fernando, city of Port of Spain. So the municipal officers, they deal with all the assets pertaining to the city only. That's their jurisdiction. And that is what they were designed to do. And then nothing is wrong with that. I think what needs to be done is streamlining the whole aspect of how they operate and give them clear guidelines, like how the TTPS may have regulations that will govern discipline and a reporting structure. I think there's a little convoluted issues that is there because they are under two service commissions. The municipalities under this statutory authority commission, 4 of the municipalities, and the other 10 is under the public service commission. So you have 2 heads, but yet one organization, so that needs to be streamlined.
You think officers, because it's a municipal police station, because I know obviously a charge room is a sensitive space. Any police station, a charge room will be a sensitive space. But you know, municipal police, because I know there's one right there by City Hall, right downstairs by the step. That's it, right?
Yes,
right.
Yeah, look at it.
So, you know, it's not as intimidating as it were compared to, let's say, actual police station, right? But it's still a police station. Do you think there's going to be some kind of need to, well, I guess with coming out of what happened in South, I guess there must be that sense of urgency and to really secure the perimeter and to give it that more fortified look and appeal and spirit.
Yes, definitely. And you know, we mentioned off here that a person who is up to no good and they see a person in uniform, they don't take time to say, okay, this person is a municipal police officer, this person is a special reserve. All they are seeing is a law enforcement officer, same gray and blue. So the protocols, security protocols, just as they may have in the TTPS, definitely they need to have it. And you know, surprisingly, a lot of persons don't know that incidents that may happen right in the city, for example, you can walk into the municipal police station and make a report. And they deal with the situation just like law enforcement officers. They have powers of arrest. They charge persons, right? They may not be involved in high profile, let's say, homicides, investigations, and so on, but the general law enforcement around the city, they have full remit in it.
Okay. And you know, this, I mean, it's sad that the incident that happened in South with Officer Eversley brought this kind of conversation up. But I guess if there's any silver lining at all, I think that is the silver lining, that there's now this information campaign, this information wave, and a better understanding as to the role and function of the municipal police, because they play such a pivotal role. And clearly, when we consider as you said, their rules of engagement are a bit different. They are indeed officers, and they must be treated as such, and there must be that greater understanding. I want to find out, how many are the municipal police in the hundreds, the thousands? Is there particular how many people are you going to be in charge of?
Well, I don't have the exact figure, but it runs into the hundreds.
This is the hundreds?
Yes.
Yes.
Because we have 14 municipalities. The municipalities mimic the whole local government structure. So 14 different entities. So, for example, you have the city of San Fernando, Port of Spain, you have Arima, Port Fortin, Diego Martin, San Juan, Laventil, Tunapuna Regional. So they expand. The only place that doesn't have municipal officers is Tobago.
Okay, understood.
Right? So, but I would also tell you too that, you asked at the start too about the information. So one of my aims too is also to organize a communication strategy.
Similar to what's happening with the TTPS.
Correct. So that members of the public would be apprised of a lot of different things, because a lot of persons, as you say, were shocked as to what's happening here and how they operate and so on. So that will be one of the main priorities too, so that we can communicate more with members of the public. They can understand what our rules and functions are. And it will make it better for a lot of persons.
When we consider crime, the overall discussion of crime, and I know that there are stats speaking towards crime reduction, especially as it pertains to homicides. That's what people look at. Obviously, there are all other crimes happening, but it seems that number and where it is at any given point of the year seems to be the gauge. What you feel could be done or added to the already existing strategies to ensure we stay in that direction? There's a reduction to the point where we could feel safe again. This element of fear could be something of the past.
Yes, definitely. As you mentioned, we focus on major events, so they use homicide as a gauge, but I tend to want to change that mindset and look at petty crimes. Now, you'll be surprised to know. Simple, what we call petty crimes, a little snatching and those simple offenses, they create the perception of fear. So years ago, Commissioner of New York, they had the whole aspect of the broken windows theory, and that strategy looked at police officers dealing with very, very, very low-key offenses. And what it does, it builds confidence, because if you go in a place like New York, if you call the police for the simplest of matters, they appear before your door, right? So we need, I want to focus, because the municipal officers have a unique situation where they are looking at various offenses around the cities. So if we can capture that catchment of offenses and deal with them meaningfully, that in itself will restore public confidence. Because to you, murder might be an issue, but to the lady who is home, her issue may be a person trespassing on a compound. That may be her issue. So she looks at the police service or the municipal as they are not functioning because they didn't address my issue. So those issues, those small issues, need to be addressed.
So let me ask, the municipal police, let's take, for example, Port of Spain, the officers we see doing their patrols on Frederick Street, Charlotte Street. Is that regular police, or is that municipal police who are doing the...
It's a combination, because you have the local police officers, CTPS, within the various districts. But as I said before, the municipality have that jurisdiction. So, for example...
How do you say the buildings? I know you say they protect the buildings of the city.
The assets, yes. And of course, if you're protecting the assets, that means the real estate around the assets, so which will include the streets and everything. So, for example, like, I was just looking at San Fernando, you have High Street. We have municipal officers who are patrolling those areas. They are liaising with business persons to ensure, because you have a large business catchment. So part of my strategy also too is to liaise with the business community to ensure that we come up with some strategies. They have ideas, and we will work together with them to see how we can address these situations.
So I would imagine if there's any kind of manpower issue, that's where the combination comes in with the municipal and the regular police. Because obviously we're in a state of emergency, and people always talk about police presence. That's what they want. We have seen it during peak periods, Christmas and other times. But there are many who, especially the business interests, they lean towards having a consistent police presence, especially in the city hubs.
Yeah, as we speak, there is collaboration with TTPS and the municipal. So we actually have operations taking place that involves members of the municipal police service because they are trained. They are well trained in terms of operations, firearms training, tactics, survival training, and so on. So it is very easy to merge and to have that multi-agency approach. So it happens all the time.
Excellent. Well, ACP Meister, I want to take a quick pause and we come back and definitely dive a little deeper into the discussion. ACP Meister in the building as we get the ball rolling on this Monday morning. See you soon.
At Modern Caribbean Enterprises Limited, we are making this Mother's Day extra special. Enjoy special discounts, free giveaways, plus $100 off detox spa session. Experience our infrared ultrasonic blanket. Turn back the clock with our LED non-surgical facelift for that natural, radiant glow. Not sure what she loved most? Our gift certificates can let her choose her perfect gift this Mother's Day. Modern Caribbean Enterprises Limited, because every mom deserves to feel beautiful, appreciated, and renewed. Call 653-0011.
Shop and save at PRW, the People's Company. Check us for all your computer and electronic needs. 65-inch TCL Smart TV, only $4,800. Get a HP laptop for $3,100. Epson All-in-One Ink Tank Printer, $1,799. Gaming cases from $299. Bluetooth Party Speaker, $2,500. Acer 19.5-inch Monitor, $799. Call PRW today.
Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
ACP Wayne Meister in studio, of course, now with his new role as the head of the municipal police, who take charge of the boroughs, of the cities, of the major hubs of business. We're talking here, Shogunas, Point Fortin, they in borough mode this week, so you know there's going to be a strong presence there. Of course, we're talking Sando, Port of Spain, the works, right? I want to ask you, Officer Meister, as it pertains to these boroughs, especially the business hubs, the major places of commerce with thousands pass through on a daily basis. I mean, even Sawa, again, our conversation. Sawa's not a borough just yet, but I know there are also municipal police there. I think there are areas there by the corporation, by the market, right? I see that right up there, upstairs there, and you know, I see them by the Quasi trying to keep an order. Which area you think needs a definite a zero tolerance to nonsense kind of focus at this point in time? Now, granted, all, but if we were to call on one particular area that is under your purview, where you think you want to start with?
Yeah, well, definitely for obvious reasons, it will be San Fernando, and as I said, for obvious reasons, because I'll tell you something, there are some challenges. I'm actually having a meeting with all the commanders on Tuesday, and I told them to just walk with issues, and then walk with the mindset of solution base. And I know they are coming with the various issues, especially on an operational point of view. But San Fernando, I'll be paying special attention. Today is actually the funeral for the woman police at 2 p.m., so I'll be up there, and I'll also be paying a visit to the city corporation and to meet the officers. Within a couple of weeks, I'll be visiting all municipalities just to hear. So I'm hearing from the commanders Tuesday, but I'll be hearing from the ground crew, so to speak. in the coming weeks.
Any plans? I know obviously, I guess you probably might be part of that conversation because I know the commission and others are those, or at least the hierarchy, the top brass, and you're part of that conversation in the TTPS. But I'm thinking here screening and more, I would say, real diligent, with a fine-tooth comb going through people's background to really ensure we get the best and brightest coming into the service. Is that conversation in the mix at this point in time?
Yes, definitely. That has always be a conversation. But you know what happens sometimes, you have the best screening police officers come in. When you watch a recruit in training, very disciplined because they are supervised and everything structured is nice. But when they go on the outside, and they start to develop habits. So what needs to happen is that what you call continuous supervision and accountability, where supervisors need to observe. You may see something happen in a particular way, nip it in the bud. Sometimes we allow things to fester. And as it go along, then when it explodes, we ask any question, okay, but this person was a good person, I know this person is a good, and different things happen. So that continuous of supervision, meaningful supervision, is extremely important.
Yeah, I would imagine so, because culture, when you sometimes step into a culture, and I don't want to just put the TTPS alone under scrutiny, every work environment, whether it's private sector, public sector, will have a particular work culture according to where you go. And I guess it's for someone to really have that personal strength. And obviously, as you said, if some seniors too could nip certain behaviors early in the bud, we wouldn't find ourselves with some of the problems. Because I guess most we know go out and try to do their very best, but there are some who continue making us ask the question, who's guarding the guards? And when those officers, whether it be in the TTPS, the Coast Guard, prison, wherever, the entire apparatus, we look at the apparatus. If anyone drops the ball, it's really it's a dark cloud on what really and truly is a majority trying to do their very best.
Yes, definitely. And, you have nobody guarding the guards. The guards are the last line of defense. So, and that is why we need to be in that situation. So when you have a situation happen, which happened recently, which, you expect that environment to be secure and safe. And when that breach and that expectation is breached, you find that definitely internal confidence will be lost. The members of the public will lose confidence, and the whole aspect of trust is up in the air. So we have a lot of work to do. I will be going there, not ruling with an iron fist, but firm but fair in that sense, because there are some issues, and if you don't address them, it's going to continue. So I want to make sure that things happen in that particular way.
Would you be the one leading the charge for the communication campaign, for that style campaign that you said you want to touch base and put information out in the public domain? Are you going to be the spokesperson, or are you going to find people within the municipal police who could articulate and ventilate some of the good, bad, and indifferent?
Yes, definitely. Well, of course, succession planning is important. I mean, I will start it off, but I will, create teams in that particular area because it is needed. Communication is very, very important to get a message out. And remember, when you don't get the communication out, persons come up with their own versions of what, because the amount of stories that you're hearing with that last incident, and really and truly, 99% of it is further from the truth. So communication is important. So yeah, that team will be important together with a change management team, because we need to have a lot of things change up within that. Yeah.
So is it a scenario where you will be more in, well, I know obviously when you're in charge on that level, it's a lot of administration and planning and structuring. Will you be under the air condition, or you're going to come out and take some of the hot sun and move with your troops?
No, my background is operational, but I could be hybrid. So definitely, definitely.
I'm the cold breeze on that side.
Yes, correct. Yeah, because I mean, I have to take responsibility for administrative issues, but at the same time, I want to lead from the front. Mm-hmm. That is my style. So rest assured, the officers can see me out on the field, and yeah.
I like that, hybrid. Yeah, man. Because I mean, we if it's one thing, I mean, I know at this level in the TTPS, a lot of administrative stuff, but people still love that presence. I think it's important to see a boot on the ground now.
Yeah, definitely. It inspires confidence. So when your officers see you on operation, it's like, hey, look, he hear, you know, you hear the little uttering, persons uttering and that kind of thing. So it inspires confidence. And that is what is needed right now as we speak.
Well, yeah, because it goes back, as we look to wrap things up, to what you said when we started the discussion, that a lot of morale would have been low. Obviously, the municipal police under scrutiny, people questioning, so many questions. And I guess to raise the morale will be such an important role and function at this point in time.
Yes. You know, I have... it could be at an advantage. What happens is that before the municipal corporation police service, they have a police academy now, right? That was established probably within the last 5 years. But prior to that, municipal officers used to train side by side with TTPS regular officers for a number of years. Fortunately for me, I was an instructor at the police academy during those periods. So the majority of persons, probably 80% of the persons who are in municipal now, I would have interacted with them from a training point of view.
You know them then.
So they know me, I know you. I know them, they know me. And so, because when I arrived there on Friday, you know, I got phone calls, I got messages, you know, so welcome home, we are, you know, happy to have you and that kind of thing. And it was persons who identified who I would have trained. So I'm looking to capitalize on that area. So to start that officer morale building from that point of view, of a place of being familiar.
Of course. Any closing remarks? Obviously, I know many would not have seen you in the public space for quite a while. I mean, the man was on vacation, Trinidad and Tobago. It's the man in a pan line with a bed, but in your suit now and you're raring and ready to go. I'll just give you a chance to talk directly to the nation, just to let them know your particular intent in this new role.
Well, I want to say, well, firstly, to the officers under my command, I want to let you know that we have lost one of our own, and it affects every one of us. But I want to let you know that all is not lost. We need every person on board to restore this organization. I want to let you know that I will be leading from the front. We will fix what needs fixing, and we will strengthen what needs strengthening. And to members of the public, rest assured we will not be compromising your safety, and we look forward to working together with you and getting your support so that we can restore that confidence. So that's my message to members of the public and, of course, to the officers under my command.
ECP Wainmeister, cheers.
Thanks a lot, man.
Indeed. Great conversation there. We'll take a pause, final break for the morning, and we come back to officially pull the curtains down on today's installment of the Morning Brew. See you soon.
That they ask the questions, those challenging questions that no other media house would ask. So, you know, shed light on those things that are in the dark, those stories that no one else wants to cover.
I grew up reading The Guardian, actually. It's a household name.
About The Guardian, one thing that I like, the human interest stories have increased.
See the investigative pieces on the human trafficking. I find that very interesting.
You go more in depth.
On sports, especially local sports, and that's one of my highlights for The Guardian.
Yeah, I've been in Ghana since The Guardian started coming out, started working. I was a newspaper man.
The stories that are being covered are well detailed and you get more facts.
Also, I think the editorials, I think they're doing a good job and they're speaking the truth, and you know they're challenging the government to make things better.
Me in particular, of recently, the last 2-3 months, I've been reading The Guardian. I'm seeing a lot of news about the neighborhoods and the communities, and I even saw my community featured, and I was proud.
But The Guardian.
The Guardian?
Guardian. Trinidad Guardian.
The Guardian.
The Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian. The Guardian is my first choice.
Alejandra, you're still alive.
Mr. Alejandro! Mrs. Lucia! Mrs. Lucia, come quick, Mr.
Alejandro! My goodness! You're so... Sophia!
Don't miss the gripping drama Cabo. Sundays at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
Get the story first.
Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
This was quite a surprise. Because honestly, normally I would mention it, right? I didn't mention anything on Friday. I don't know. This year was just I wanted to have a real quiet celebration, and I guess it was. I was spent the evening with family and friends. No big hullabaloo, because in the years gone by, I would have teamed up with Whitney Husbands, and belated birthday to Whitney, by the way. I would have teamed up with Whitney to do big party and song forge and party and ting, and but this year I kept it very quiet. Also, birthday greetings to Sonny Bling. Myself and Sonny, we share the same birthday. So Sonny also celebrated his birthday actually on Saturday. It's actually Saturday the 25th. So Sonny, myself, Whitney Husbands, and tomorrow, Ken Simmons. Yeah, Ken Simmons from 105. Yeah, Taurus people, man, good people. Are your birthdays next month too? Oh, fantastic. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, I feel good. Joshua's birthday is Friday. Look at that. What? It's birthday season. So yes, I'm very grateful, extremely blessed, and I just look forward to what's ahead. I always talk about limitless potential for the nation, but I also think of that with me and my journey, and I sit in the seat and I enjoy the space. I enjoy interacting with the public. I speak from the heart. People might not agree all the time, but we have a chance anytime we link up or meet up, whether it's a grocery or the market or anywhere, we could further the discussion. And I'm really, really grateful and extremely blessed and highly favored. So give thanks, another year, another trip around the sun and the moon. 47 not out, 47 not out. I'm getting up there now, but I feel good. I was feeling a thing in the knee every now and then, to be quite honest. I was feeling something. I can't wind down. Ladies, don't try to wind me down low anymore. No 630. 630. No, I ain't going through that. No. Protecting them thing here. Folks, this was a great program. Thanks so much for tuning in. Tomorrow, God spare, I'm back for more. Have a great one, TNT.